Liberty Silver is a Canadian Grammy and Juno Award-winning singer who broke down walls by being the first Black woman to receive a Juno in 1985. Along the way, she also ended up singing in the 1980s charity single Tears Are Not Enough with Bryan Adams and alongside Mike Reno of Loverboy. Born in Detroit, Liberty will be performing a streaming show benefiting the Amherstburg Freedom Museum on Wednesday, April 21st. She sat down with 519's Dan Beauchart about the upcoming show. But before that, let's go back to the 1980s with a clip from her Lost Somewhere Inside Your Love music video.
Somewhere inside my heart, it's tearing me apart.
Do you get back to this area very often, or?
I do sometimes when I'm recording. I have a friend, a mutual musician partner, and his name is Curtis Scott. He's a singer, songwriter, composer. We've gone to the Indie Awards to Channel Awards in Los Angeles, and he's won a couple of producer awards there. And I collaborate with him, doing lots of different music and different stuff for TV and shows.
So tell me a little bit about growing up. You were adopted by a British family, grew up in Peterborough.
Yes.
I can actually relate a little bit to this. I'll just say this right now. My youngest sister is Black. She was adopted as a baby too.
Okay.
And we also grew up in small town Ontario. So
Wow.
I can kind of relate to the experience somewhat.
Yeah. It was interesting. I was adopted at a very young age, less than a toddler. And life was great until I hit public school. And people showed me that I was different. And it was quite the journey. I had to fight my way in and out of the parking, in the schoolyard. And there's lots of kids who called me all different kinds of names. And it was bad. And I remember sitting in the middle of my bed in the middle of the night one night, crying and asking God, what am I doing here? Because it wasn't the fact that they were saying that I was different, all that stuff, but I knew I was displaced as a child, even as a child. So I had big conversations with him. And then one day what happened was, and my parents were British, and a lot of people say, well, they should have helped you. They should have made you understood, but they didn't know how to, right? They were just going along. They used to say, oh, don't give it any energy. Just forget about it, brush it under the carpet. But when you're going through it, you can't do that. So basically what happened was I came home one day and a girl got off the bus with me, and nobody ever walked with me to or from school. And she said, we don't hate you because you're Black. We hate you because you're Black and adopted. And I went home to my mom and I said, what's adopted? And my mother explained it to me, you're from somebody else, but we took you and now you're ours. And we love you. And I said, okay, so everything's a lie. All right. Okay, cool. Got you. She goes, so are you all right? I said, yeah, I want to go now. She goes, where do you want to go? I said, I want to leave. So my mother arranged for me to go and see my older sister in Toronto. And she goes, we'll drive you. I said, no, sorry. I said, no, I want to take a bus. And I took a bus to Toronto. I was at 12 years old. And it was the first time I had seen other people other than me that looked like me, other than when magically Soul Train beamed its way into Peterborough every Saturday morning. And that was my first experience. And I realized I wasn't the only one, because I thought I was the only one on earth. I really did. So I got to my sister's and she had a pool in her apartment building. So I went down, I'm swimming and stuff. And all of a sudden I hear this guy come through the parking lot and he goes, wow, you can really sing. I know a band. And he took me to an audition. I got the audition. I went back to my sister's. I said, I got to go. I'm going to a gig. She said, got a job already? I said, yeah, I'm gone. And back in those days, you could drive over the border with 12 musicians and their instruments. And I ended up opening up for Bob Marley at Madison Square Gardens. And once that happened, and I didn't even really know who Bob Marley was because we never heard of Bob Marley in Peterborough. I used to go to Sam the Record Man and buy 99-cent records of Earth, Wind and Fire, Sly and the Family Stone, all those things. And then I got back to Toronto after Madison Square Gardens, and I just did what I knew I was meant to do, which was sing, collaborate, write, go on tour. And I wasn't looking for awards. I wasn't looking for that. I just knew that inside me, I had found my own destiny, and I was exercising that right. And that's all I did. That's all I was in it for. And of course, to get paid, of course,
Oh,
you know,
yes.
because you soon learn you got to get paid.
Yeah, sure. That's an incredible story. Your first paying gig is opening for Bob Marley. And
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it must have told you even at that young age that, gee, I guess I have talent.
Yeah, I think I knew I already had talent, and I'll tell you why. Because my father was a first-string violin player in the symphony orchestra in Peterborough, and he had students. So I was always singing and standing in front of the walls of the basement and making up words to jazz albums or whatever it was, and projecting on the. I went to the Olympics. I wrote 2 Olympic themes, and I went back to my dad and I said, "Dad, I'm going to the Olympics again." And he goes, "Well, that's not bloody surprising. You used to stand in front of the walls and pretend you were singing to thousands of people." And then I understood the power of manifestation and what you do to make yourself, to bring out what's inside of you. And that's what I was doing. And that was my escape, actually. It took away from all the bullying, all from the sticks and the stones and break your bones stuff. And I found my peace there. So when I actually got to do it, it was like, wow, this is it. This is it. I'm not doing anything else.
Thanks to Liberty Silver and Dan Beauchart for that great interview. Watch for more from Liberty in the upcoming May issue of 519 magazine. That's all we have for you this time. We'll see you soon.